Well, it's April 7th, which means it's National Beer Day. Well, it's also MLB Opening Day. And, with the lockout, we didn't even know if this day would come. And our chief baseball correspondent, Akiko Fujita, obviously has a lot of thoughts on this. It's interesting, Akiko, because there's a lot of rule changes for this season that some people may have missed. So could be a bit of a different game this year.
Yeah, and part of those rule changes came from the discussions that happened during the lockout. Part of it is also trying to tweak the game a little so that it's not quite as long. Maybe more people will tune in. But let's pull up some of the changes here, because I think this could make the game a little more interesting if you're not into baseball already. There's the Shohei Ohtani rule. If you have not watched baseball over the last few years,
Showtime.
This is, of course, based off of the two-way hitter over at the Angels. Basically, it means if you're a pitcher that starts from the game and you're pulled from the game and you're still a designated hitter, you can continue to hit, which was not the case before. There's also the designated hitter taking effect in the National League. So, Brian, no more strikeouts for all the pitchers. I don't know how I feel about this one. Could be good. And then, of course, teams in the playoffs expanding from 10 to 12, so more can make it into the game. And then the regular season extra inning games, that ghost runner, which is something that was implemented back in 2020, that's going to continue. So that means if you go into extra innings, there will be a runner on second base to start. A lot of this, of course, based on the back of changes that the Players Association has agreed to, but also because they've had a bit of a struggle in terms of ratings and attendance. Brian, you've pointed out the fact that you think baseball games are too long, not as exciting. I love baseball, by the way.
I know you do. I know some of the changes with the ghost runners could certainly speed up the game. That'd be good. But I just want to point out, interesting that you want to talk about the MLB. It just feels like you're kind of kicking a little bit of dirt over the real big news here, which is that the Los Angeles Lakers did not make the NBA playoffs.
Out of the playoffs.
That's 2 years after having won the title, the Mickey Mouse ring down in the bubble. So very interesting to see that you're trying to switch gears here. But don't worry, I got our producers to make VO of this just so that we can make sure we have the important coverage here on Yahoo Finance.
One point of contention, Brian, the Mickey Mouse ring that's not fair, because it was a full year that they had to play, a full year. But of course, we can continue on and on here. We're going to cut it short so we don't create our producers' headache. We only have limited time here.